everything and anything in Tsukumomono groceries.
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
You can find everything and anything in Tsukumomono groceries.
According to the letter, this should be the place.
Sorry, we don't serve the general public. I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
Wait! We're not the general public!
Well then, you must be a couple of wandering outlanders that snuck into the nation, judging by your attire.
Are our clothes really so... what Paimon means to say is...
The Yashiro Commission's seal. This must be from Mr. Thoma. It seems there's more to you than meets the eye. In which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House, a safe haven for the Yashiro Commission.
Well, that sounds more like it. Well, now that we're here, where's Thoma? Paimon doesn't see him anywhere. Do you think he forgot his promise to meet us?
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me.
What? Is that dog talking to us?
Relax, no need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you've seen me in this form? Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in Liyue Harbor?
Now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem less out of the ordinary.
Alright, I've had my fun.
Hey! You're this close to getting an ugly nickname, mister!
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been waiting here for you for so long, as was the case in Rito. So I came up with this little fun greeting for when you arrived. But in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went through earlier, though it was quite necessary. It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Ms. Kamisato, and whether you had the courage to face the lightning alongside us.
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just because you're getting all serious now.
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies. Let me just say this. You've often found yourself skirting the rules from the very beginning, haven't you? Naturally, this is due to your unwavering and resolute determination. A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same, but when the lightning struck... so you've heard of his story. His light still burns all the more brightly. Yes, of course. I will bring you to the Kamisato residence where the Yashiro Commission is located. But before that, there is one other place I was hoping you both would accompany me to.
Oh? Where?
I would like you to come with me to the statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now, but you can already see it from practically anywhere on Narukami Island.
What delicious tea.
People probably don't come here often, do they? Huh? Are Paimon's eyes playing tricks? Or are there things embedded in the statue?
Visions.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt decree are put into the statue?
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt decree. Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt is the city of freedom, and Liyue is the city of contracts. As for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful ruler and its deity. The Eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will to rule over Inazuma. As such, she relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate the nation's affairs and the Sakoku Decree to limit the people's movement. The Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the stream of time to flow from one end to the other without disturbing it for all time.
Seems like every god has their own will.
Of course, this is my own limited understanding. As for the reason behind the recent Vision Hunt decree, perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change, and that her eternity doesn't allow for such instability to exist. Whatever the case, the fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched the Tenryou Commission to scour the nation for visions, embedding each one in this statue. And this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of eternity.
But if that's the case, wouldn't you say that the Raiden Shogun is being, I don't know, selfish?
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out so directly against the Raiden Shogun. And yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt decree is something that simply should not exist. And Miss Kamisato has been committed to fighting it since the day it was announced.
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like your mind is elsewhere.
Sound? What sound? I didn't hear anything. Did something happen?
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then what?
Aspirations? That would seem to confirm the saying. Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, the gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision represents their ambition. So if what you just said is true, then the ambitions of these people are stronger than I imagined. Alright, time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
Finally! Time for takeoff.
Down to business.
Brace yourself. Lightning slash! Thunderclap!
The fairy.
Let's play!
Finally,
Think you can get away? Here we go! Speed of light!
solidify. This is order.
Yahoo! Incoming!
Stabilize.
Speed of light! Hey! Time for takeoff. Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Another test. Try.
Don't blink!
Stabilize. Test subject.
Let's play! Incoming! Yeah! Brace yourselves!
Picked the wrong test subject.
Right now, I wish I was sitting at the top of a tree, looking out over a meadow, cider in hand. Come on, traveler, let's go! The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered. Here we go! Wouldn't gliding be faster? Right now, I wish I was sitting at the top of a tree, looking out over a meadow, cider in hand.
Sure, I'll play you another tune, but it'll cost you an apple.
Come on, traveler, let's go! The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered. Right now, I wish I was sitting at the top of a tree, looking out over a meadow, cider in hand. Come on, traveler, let's go! The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered. Right now, I wish I was sitting at the top of a tree, looking out over a meadow, cider in hand.
Sure, I'll play you another tune, but it'll cost you an apple.
Come on, traveler, let's go! The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered.
Sure, I'll play you another tune, but it'll cost you an apple.
Come on, traveler, let's go! The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered. What? Yahoo! Speed of light! Yeah. Ha. I'm not. Don't blink. Yahoo! Here we go! Speed of light! Hey! Yeah. Huh.
Sure, I'll play you another tune, but it'll cost you an apple.
Wouldn't gliding be faster? Think you can get away? Brace yourself! Here we go! Wouldn't gliding be faster? Brace yourself! Right now, I wish I was sitting at the top of a tree, looking out over a meadow, cider in hand.
Sure, I'll play you another tune, but it'll cost you an apple.
Come on, traveler, let's go! The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered.
Sure, I'll play you another tune, but it'll cost you an apple.
Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Gather!
One after another.
I will have order!
Time for takeoff.
Nowhere to hide.
Yahoo!
Yeah, wouldn't gliding... Right now, I wish I was sitting at the top of a tree, looking out over a meadow, cider in hand. Come on, traveler, let's go! The world is full of lost ballads just waiting to be rediscovered. Wouldn't gliding be faster?
There you are, eavesdropper. The more, the merrier. Blink! Boost! Blink! Hep, over here!
I'm sure the Kamisato plan will be fine.
So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live, huh? Paimon kinda expected it to be snap.
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guest. Miss Kamisato is delighted to finally meet you.
Is this the Shirasage Himegimi you keep going on about? So, where's she at? Oh, screen?
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato is accustomed to receiving guests. Consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro Commission. Forgive me if this is an unwelcome surprise.
Makes sense. She's a super important person after all.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion, especially following such a long and wearisome journey over the sea. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation, and Thoma assures me that you do indeed possess the power to change the tide of the times. At present in Inazuma, in the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, the people's aspirations are being senselessly trampled underfoot. Though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share close bonds, given the contact we are required to have with them in the performance of our duties. A commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Thus, we cannot remain indifferent to this situation without also remaining indifferent to our own fate. Traveler, lend us your power, and we can... Oh.
See, milady, it's just like I said. This will take us nowhere.
No, please, wait! Please, don't go! I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must fulfill 3 small wishes on my behalf.
What are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps once you've met them, you will understand.
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the Vision Hunt Decree, and a swordmaster determined to become the best in the world. Does Paimon get that right?
Correct. Please do all you can to help them. I will await your return here. Then you have my gratitude.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Let's see. Where's the person Ayaka told us about?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please, we urge you to reconsider.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about. Let's go over and see.
You must also be here to try and convince Tejima to stay. Tejima has protected this place ever since he arrived here 30 years ago, keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near, resolving quarrels between the villagers. He has put an enormous amount of work into looking after this place, but now, all of a sudden, he says he plans to leave us. We will gladly apologize if that's the case. All we want is for him to stay.
If you want my opinion, it's clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong, and still they confiscated his vision. I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do.
Seems like he's a well-respected guy around here. You must be Tejima. So what's made you want to up and leave all of a sudden?
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to stay. True, but that's not why I chose to stay here. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? And why have I never wanted to leave in all that time? I don't have answers to those questions because I can't remember anymore. Ever since they took my vision away, it's like a slice of my memory is gone. In the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever resolve I had then, it's gone now.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we help you rediscover the reason you chose to stay, you won't need to leave anymore, right? But if you can't remember anything, it's not gonna be easy. Oh, maybe if you just try a little harder to remember, then it'll all come flooding back?
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit, I do believe I saw him writing in a diary.
I keep a diary?
Oh, yes, you do. And what's more,
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from leaving, we just need to find his diary.
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary.
This looks like Tejima's diary, all right. Let's see what we have here. Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was still in the water. I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still my most treasured possession. Now that's the kind of info we're looking for. So this is the omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting. Looking at the color and the design, Paimon would have thought it belonged to a child. But anyway, if he had this with him all the time, there's a chance some of his... Somewhere that Tejima visited a lot. The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around. It looks like Konda Village. Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again? So the reason Tejima came here was to wait for someone. But he's been here for 30 years. Oh, guess they didn't show up in the end, huh? Well, let's go give Tejima his stuff back and take it from there.
One day, I'll be as great as Ryuji. One day, I'll be as great as Ryuki.
Well, I'll be. That's certainly my handwriting. And I get. But I have no. Still. It's clear that I was waiting for someone here, and that I chose to wait for 30 years. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were finally reunited. And just look at all the things that did happen over the years. The time has flown by so quickly. 30 years feels like the blink of an eye. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Love, regret, everything I felt for her, it's all disappeared. No. After all, I've forgotten who she was. Her face, it's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all these years have been nothing but a hazy dream. I think maybe not. If this is something I waited most of my life for, I suppose I should carry on waiting. Although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find I didn't remember so much as her name? Wouldn't that be upsetting for her? When I think about it like that, I do feel a slight tinge of how curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember who she is? It's just like that feeling of emptiness, the feeling that something is missing. Thank you both for helping me reconnect with my reason for staying here. I shall remain here and keep waiting for her.
Tejima seems to be dealing okay, but still, it makes Paimon really sad. Seems it's just like Ayaka and Thoma were saying. If you lose your vision, you lose all your hopes and dreams too. That certainly explains the state Tejima was in earlier. At least we were able to help him. According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou Commission.
I've already waited this long. Might as well keep waiting. I've already waited this long. May as well keep waiting.
They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma. But why would they take action against one of their own? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation. How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some goods to be pocketed by greedy samurai.
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this.
Oh, huh? And who are you?
What? We just happened to be passing by. We heard the commotion and came to...
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible for In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself. I just know it.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was... It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him helping her rule the nation.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But what? Maybe we should talk to Kurosawa and see what he has to say.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding supplies, would I still be... My own family can barely get by as it is. No, if you'll excuse me, I've got other That's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt Decree.
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember that. All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just...
Does it have to do...
I didn't take any. Like, to top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders. Which is why I came here in the first place. If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself.
Huh. He seems to be... But we better confirm. Let's go. We should be able to follow their track.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jack.
You haven't seen anything yet. Though today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an... You demand, Bob!
These seem like the treasure hoarders were at...
Here we go. Don't blink.
You're open!
Brace yourselves. Incoming.
Picked. Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? Kurosawa. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just...
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed?
Food supplies. You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found, I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was... But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little...
You've got a deal! Now show us what's in the box!
Huh?
What the...
There's nothing in here but IOUs!
Yeah, a lot of them too! And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store, a Miss Aoi. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to... As for you guys, you're free free to go. Just pray that our paths don't cross again.
Yes, of course. So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs.
Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find something? Or perhaps there's something... Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay off his debts.
Whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here to learn where they all came from. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy it?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual amount.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. But why did he have to purchase a usual amount? If the prices increase...
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to sustain them each time. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, so he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people down.
Wow. Kurosawa, and no one ever appreciated what he did. They just complained and held him accountable.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face of hardship, nobody cares to think twice. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, then there wouldn't be such a severe backlash now. Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thankless deed. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, I'm still not too clear myself. If you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself? I see. That reminds me, it seems that his vision was recently confiscated. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
Sword? What sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a very valuable blade. He's carried it for years now. I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that it was too precious to sell. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price, at least that's what I think. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answers you're looking for. Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly settle today's bill.
But we didn't buy anything!
Information is also a kind of commodity, wouldn't you agree? Don't worry, I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed was explicitly confidential anyway. Oh,
At least we now know where the emergency provisions are coming from. Plus, we found out that Kurosawa has a price. Let's go talk to Kurosawa.
you can find everything and anything in Tsukumomono groceries.
What are you doing here all by yourself? Where did those...
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions, but they were all purchased at your own expense.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told me, why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I? But I could not deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow reluctant to do so. This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. What did he say? It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. All I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed and said to me,
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words, and can you recognize the words?
virtue and justice? Somehow those two words seemed taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been my great, but what use of virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need, and look how things ended up. The Tenryo Commission seized my vision, and the very people I was so desperate. And the irony of all of it is, I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally...
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Thoma about Kurosawa's debt. The Yashiro Commission would surely help cover his expenses. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah, Seems like fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next poor soul.
Ad Astra Abyss.
Third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts. Hyman heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism is taken...
Hey there!
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
You got it so wrong. We just came here to,
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shi, but then we got here and overheard you talk.
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many... You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being. I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little... Sensei's name is Domon. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to... He once said that his goal was to become the best... And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's been possessed by an evil spirit. But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over...
The Grand Narukami Shrine?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty shogun herself. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. but even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the... So don't worry, Nanako. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than...
So, losing your vision can cause possession? Guess we should come back this...
So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier. You would have had to witness Sensei one of his fits of madness. Just now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whispering a few names when she asked him who the people were. He suddenly looked panicked. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with blood. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew. Others we didn't recognize. But they all seemed to be the name. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago. And he has been a while. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patient. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water.
Sneaking around. We won't let them get away with it. Come on, look. Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious person sight!
How did you... Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? Unless... I guess it's been a few years.
Excuse me? We're the ones asked, and what are you doing sneaking around these parts?
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day, long before you ever showed up. I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am...
His senior?
Anzai, yes, because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever. When we were young, we trained under the same swordmaster. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as practitioners of Make Yoshi's sui art. But Domon was different. The first thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei, and sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best swordmaster, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind. And that this, I thought so too at the time. But Domon began making... Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from the...
Sure sounds like he meant business.
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of all the disciples. I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down, though, I still respected his mastery of the blade,
So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he? I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name. I thought mine was a name he had long since forgotten. So you see, I came here not to cause him... Okay, you've heard my story.
Seems like we got it wrong this time. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us.
You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean that he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible? No, I refuse to believe it. Something's clearly wrong.
Nanako, please, try not to get agitated.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed Domon. But spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. Thus, I dare not rule out possession with complete certainty. And all is certainly not lost, for I received word not long ago that Lady Yae has taken an interest in your sensei's case.
Lady Yae? Is that the same Lady Yae that I think you mean?
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news! Then
correct. Lady Yae is most knowledgeable indeed, and has I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei. But Lady Yae can give a conclusive verdict.
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask...
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. Lady Yae does not like to be kept waiting. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine. I wish...
Who'd have thought Lady Yae herself would have taken notice of our...
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady Yae's attention?
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand me. I just mean this is Lady Yae, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should, given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei. We, the disciples of Mik...
Sure! After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yae. We're curious to meet her too. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two about the Raiden Shogun from her.
Here we go! Yahoo! Yahoo! Wouldn't gliding be faster?
Do you think that's Lady Yae? Oh, no wonder Jr. was so excited. She has a really striking presence. Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look right at us just now? It was probably nothing. It's not like she's ever seen us before.
Keep away. Keep away from me. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yae, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past, gathered all around him to persecute him.
Lady Yae, it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came his way, he would always face it with a confident smile.
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
But then does that mean he...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself. Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended into madness. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yae, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that explain his descent into madness?
Your school practices Meikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple he himself had taught. Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both? Can one truly remain unagitated, of still mind in moments such as these?
Lady Yae, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the swordmaster is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking to pursue the position of greatest swordmaster in the world. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others, even those of one's closest companions. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters, to focus on the way ahead. When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly descended into the state you see him in now. Much like a certain fatally flawed friend of mine.
Poor sensei. To think he's been suffering so greatly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Father, Sensei, Ansai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Ansai? Where did he come from? Did he follow us the whole way here?
Ansai, why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost? You're here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it would come. I never should have.
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. But I didn't come here to settle a score. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I couldn't face the humiliation. That's why I ran. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, when you cut our ambitions short, we entrusted them to you, in the hopes that they might carry you further. Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer, since you've been stripped of your ambitions too. But that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak. You taught them that, didn't you?
But what if one day, the same thing happens to them? I put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake right from the start? If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirate, I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do now. I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head...
Nanako's far from the only one.
Goodness.
You see? You can place the ambition you once had in their hands. Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions crushed. That's what happened on the day that you so effortlessly defeated me. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, it is time for you to release yours into their custody. You are not in the same position that I was. When I left, I had nothing to my name. But you have a great number of worthy disciples.
I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state of Miyakyo. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and... But as your sensei, I shall commit to impart. This is my promise. And I humbly ask Anzai.
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you occasionally anyway, just to make sure you hadn't lost your mind again. But I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore, so I will simply stop by once in a while to make sure you aren't cutting any corners with them. Well, don't just stand there staring at me. Say thank you to Lady Yae and then get yourself back home.
So even though his ambition was taken away...
Traveler, a moment, please. Lady Yae has some words for you.
So, my intuition was correct. The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment. I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
Ooh, Lady Yae seems to have taken a real interest in you. She seems super mysterious. Paimon's so curious what she really meant by all that. We can come back to it another time. For now, we should go report back to Miss Kamisato.
See that he stays safe.
yourselves. Huh?
Another bad one? No, let me try again.
Let's go jumping in puddles and see who can make the biggest splash. Speed of light. Hey! Cut to the chase. Incoming.
You win this battle.
Wait a downpour. Nothing will get done until... anticipate a downpour. Nothing will get done until it clears. Let this be a lesson to those who yesterday said I'll do it tomorrow.
Oh, Ayaka! Guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Huh? Ayaka! Huh?
Traveler, Paimon, it is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face. I have heard all about how you helped our three friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Yeah, short of getting them their visions back, it seems like there's no way to really help them. Ayaka, how come this time you get to come out and meet us in person?
Because now that you have done the three things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends. As you will observe, I dispense with the screen for Thoma also.
Ooh, wait a second. But isn't Thoma your, servant? Paimon's happy to help and all, but Paimon sure as heck did not sign up to be a servant.
Oh, Paimon, you are most entertaining. Thoma is first and foremost my friend, and was so before he ever became my attendant.
Oh, okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different out in the open compared to how you are behind the screen. Alright, we can be friends.
Thank you both kindly. Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what you have seen? Perhaps in the eyes of a deity such as the almighty Shogun, the lives of those who inhabit the world are inconsequential. Thunders roar, lightnings flash, the winds assault, and the rains descent. All these things take place with no regard for the feelings of the common people. But I believe that surely you understand what they must endure. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case, perhaps you would be willing to reconsider your stance? You will? Really? Naturally.
All right, bravo, my lady. You were right all along.
See? I told you she wouldn't reject them. I'd placed my trust in the right person after all. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature, perhaps we could move to the Komori Tea House?
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway? What makes it your favorite meeting spot?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and repair any property on this land, and even to allow or deny access. Such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is not appropriate to discuss details in front of bystanders.
Oh, Paimon gets it. Gotta keep a bit.
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here. Only members of the Yashiro Commission are permitted to come and go as they please.
Makes sense. Perfect place for a secret base.
In any case, we can talk freely here. I presume you have a few questions that you wish to ask me? Of course. We have tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, each time a proposal to repeal the decree arrives at Tenshukaku, it is promptly vetoed by both the Tenryou Commission and the Kanjo Commission, and subsequently scrapped. They invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. They have no interest in discussing anything. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to issue the Vision Hunt Decree. The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on but only a few occasions. She inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a sense of absolute authority. But as I recall, there was something else about her that struck me even more deeply. It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official, I suppose. Focused exclusively on her single goal of implementing eternity, acting accordingly without feeling. The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt Decree is something that has no implications whatsoever. After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Moreover, it is not unknown for visions to spark jealousy in others. Because of this, the attitude of most people towards the Vision Hunt Decree is one of indifference.
How can they be like that?
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the resistance on Watatsumi Island.
Resistance? You mean like an army fighting against the decree?
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group. To say a little more about Sangonomiya, historically, there has always been some conflict between them and the shogunate of Narukami Island due to their different belief systems. But I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance movement, beyond merely fighting the Vision Hunt Decree.
Ooh, Paimon has a question though!
Oh? What would you like to know, Paimon?
Have you got a plan yet to fight the Vision Hunt Decree?
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt Decree is tantamount to challenging a deity. Coming to terms with that is already a difficult step to take.
So what?
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try and reduce the harm that is being caused by this decree. For example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge.
You're telling Paimon that there are people out there who can make fake visions?
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are indistinguishable from the genuine article. The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who is providing us with counterfeit visions, has recently been arrested by the Tenryou Commission.
Darn! So they
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of time before it would be exposed. But we cannot simply abandon Master Masakatsu. Exactly. I feel the same way. By no means, when you are ready, go to...
時間を無駄にしちゃいけないわ。
おとなしく私な。俺たちが手荒な真似をする前にな。元素力を使ってメガリレーに抵抗するんなら頭を冷やしてきた方。前にそうした奴がどんな結末をたどったか知らないわけじゃないだろう。無駄なあがき。
見逃してください。この神の目は手に入れたばかりなんで。
ちょうど神の目の押収現場に出くわしたぞ。放ってはおけないよな。
ちょいちょい、待ちや。
あっちで。
こっちこっち。はよこっち来。
どうしたんだ。緊急事態なんだ。オイラたち今から。
見とき。
おい、なんなんだよお前。自分に神の目がないからってそうやって野じ馬みたいに。ってあれ、お前持ってるのか。
静かにしとき。うちらまで見つかってまうやろ。
わかりました。これでいいですか、武士様。
ふん、それでいい。行くぞ。
どうするんだよ。もう神の目を渡しちゃったぞ。まさか神の目を失った後何が起きるのか知らないのか。お前のせいでタイミングを逃しちゃったじゃないか。
宵宮さん、ありがとうございます。さっき僕にくれた偽物がなければ本当に押収されてるところでした。
気にせんといて。あんたも結構演技してたで。
そうだったのか。そうとも知らずにオイラさっき宵宮さんにあんな態度を。ごめんなさい。
ええんや。あんたらのさっきの反応、同じ立場におる人間やってのがよう分かったわ。互いに理解するっちゅうのはめっちゃ重要なことや。自己紹介がまだやったな。うちは宵宮。この長野原花火屋の現店主や。
花見坂で宵宮さんを知らない人はいませんよ。夏祭りの女王とはまさに彼女のこと。彼女と彼女の。
すごい人なんだな。
そないなことそれと、うちに礼を言うよりも正勝先生に感謝し、あん時うちの神の目も正勝先生の偽物を使うて守ったんや。
はあ、正勝先生は本当にいい方なのに。
正勝先生。
なんや、あんたらも正勝先生ほんまか。白鷺の姫君が手配したもんやったんやな。実はここ数日獄中に乗り込もうと企んどったところや。せやけどいきなり無謀に突っ走っても上里さんに迷惑かけるだけやと思うてな。うちもあんたらと一緒に行動させてくれへんか。
もちろんいいぜ。綾香もオイラたちに長野原花火屋で助っ人に会ってほしいって言ってたんだ。どうやら宵宮のことだったみたいだな。
どうやら店で神の命の所有者をかくまう以外にもついに他の役割が回ってきたっちゅうことやな。正勝先生は町奉行所に閉じ込められとる。
宵宮は頼もしいな。
せやろ。
助けるで。
挑戦の中で完璧な狩人は痕跡を残さないわ。
長野原の花火が稲妻一や。
やっと入れたな。思ってた以上に不気味なところだ。
こっから入って正解やったな。あいつらの注意を引かずに済んだわ。こんなとこに閉じ込められるんは怖いやろな。はよう正勝先生を救いに行くで。手分けして行動するで。正勝先生を迎えるには少し準備がいるんや。
おう。じゃあ気を。
おう、あんたらもな。
ここだよ。
でっかい扉だ。開けるにはあの勾玉の形をしたものを集める必要があるみたいだな。
難攻不落。拙者を恐れてるのか。
足元に気をつけて。おっ、
岩山八九。
諦めなさい。一緒に遊ぼうよ。
勝負せよ。
陣営のごとく。
拙者を恐れてるのか。剣女盤石。溶断。
いけ。
は
押して
誰に足らないの。
足りなかったか。岩山八九。誰だ。
この壁なんだかおかしいぞ。何か仕掛けがあるのかな。こいつらなんだか強化されてるみたいだ。その力の源はあそこの鎧と関係してるんじゃないか。
逃げようなんて思わないでよね。
岩山八九。やっ。
瞬く間に。
ここだよ。
勝負。
走るより飛ぼう。いけ。はあ。風だ。一緒に遊ぼうよ。陣営のごとく。ここだよ。
勝負。難攻不落。
足元に気をつけて。 行けここだよ。
剣女盤石。拙者の負けだ。
いや
修練が足りなかったか。
逃げようなんて思わないでよね。逃がさない。行くわよ。瞬く間に
難攻不落。
お、ここだよ。
修練。
無駄な努力をやめたら取るに足らないわ。
負けだ。難攻不落。難攻不落。
あんな小賢しい真似で俺と
投獄だけです。
ちくしょう、天領部早くどうにかして助け出さないと。おれ、よいみ、もう見てられん。正勝先生に何かあったらうちら。
お前たち何をしている。
九条沙羅様、俺たちはただこいつの指導をしているだけです。
あれ、九条沙羅、天領奉行九条家の養子で幕府軍の大将や。なんでこないな場所に。
どけ、どんな状態か見せろ。死刑は将軍様から禁止されているはずだ。知らないわけではないだろう。
存じております。
もし自分たちのやったことに恥を感じていないのであれば、天領奉行の配下としてふさわしくない。
申し訳ございません、九条様。
威厳のある人だな。あいつらの注意力が正勝せ。おい、よいみや。あ、
待て、そこに誰か。お前たち見に行け。
はっ。
来たぞ、早く隠れろ。悪い、うちのせいや。心配せんで、うちの失敗は。うわ、花火だ。
あそこで何か爆発したぞ。
まさか。
見に行くぞ。
花火って注意を引くには花火の使い道は祭りおい、よいみや。うちも職人やさかい。無意識のうちにちょっち派手にやりたくなってもったんや。もうあっちに誰もいないみたいだぞ。
よいみや。
正勝先生、待たせてもうたな。畜生、あいつら好き勝手に。早く行くぞ。もしあいつらが戻ってきたら。
今回だけだ。重傷を負っている。連れて行って治療してやれ。だが治療が終わり次第必ずもう一度捕まえる。
次はそう簡単にいかんと思うで。
さっさと行け。
不気味な場所から出られたな。正勝先生、平気？
大丈夫だ。医者に着く。
みんな、うちは正勝先生を医者に連れて行く。分かったから早く行け。オイラたちに構わなくていいから。なんとかうまく救い出せたな。そうだな。あの九条天領奉行にもいいやつがいるんだな。もちろん。よし、じゃあ
なるほど。九条サラは君たちに手を出さなかったと。どうやら彼女も全くの理不尽というわけではないようだね。 彼女と接触を試み、より多くの情報を聞き出せないだろうか。
それは難しいと思います。九条サラはメガリレーの執行者。彼女は将軍様の命令以外は従いません。正勝先生がメガリレーに直接脅威をもたらす存在ではないと判断し、見逃したのでしょう。しかし、私たちの身分があらわになった場合、彼女は容赦しないはずです。
ごもっとも。しかし、正勝先生を救い出せた今、俺たちが一本取り返せたと言ってもいいだろう。今回は、宵宮と旅人のおかげだ。勝利にまた一歩近づけたってわけだ。君は、俺が思っている以上に、頼りになる人みたいだな。
そうでもないぜ。
確かに、旅人さんの助けがなければ、今回の救出はこんなにうまくはいかなかったでしょう。しかし、メガリレーに抵抗するには、これだけではまだまだ足りません。今後の計画を準備する必要がございます。
そんなに心配しなくても大丈夫さ、お嬢。少なくとも、今は全ていい方向に向かっている。監獄から正勝先生を無事救出し、仲間の数も増えた。そういえば、天領奉行が近頃、祝典の準備をしていると聞いた。何か、儀式に似たようなものらしい。それで、町にいるメガリレーの武士が減ったのは確かだ。今は、一時的に平和になってる。
儀式？どうして天領奉行がそのようなことを？
俺にもわからないが、俺たちとは関係ないことだろう。とにかく、彼らが最近忙しくしているのは事実だ。俺たちに構う暇なんてない。
そうですね。確かに一理あります。ずっと気を張っていても疲れが溜まるだけでしょう。少々休息を取った方がいいかもしれません。トーマ、何か提案はございますか？
ちょうど、祝賀会を行おうと思ってたところだ。実は、最近
鍋遊び？
簡単に言えば、各自それぞれ違う材料、目を閉じて、正解した場合、面白そうだろ？
どんだけ遊びたいんだよ。仕方ないな。旅人、おい。どれどれ？鬼やばな絶雲の唐辛子、超しょっぱいハム、無評花の数、なんか、恐ろしい。
お腹が痛い。胃の中で花火が上がってるみたいだ。
まさかトーマが一番得点を取るなんて。おかしな食材は
塩漬け青魚、熟していないスミレウリ、しゃぶしゃぶ団子、それと食べたら舌が凍るやつ。なんだか走馬灯が見えてきた気がするぜ。さよなら、みんな。
全部トーマがご自身で入れたおかしなものじゃございませんか。自分の食材をずっとすくっていましたよ。
でも、綾香は鍋にケーキを入れてたよな。旅人が食べてたぞ。鍋ケーキ。想像するだけでもう。
ごめんなさい。もっと美味しくなると思いまして。
ダメだ。少し休ませてくれ。はぁ、生き返った。
トーマ、別にあんなに頑張らなくてもよかったんだぞ。わざといくつか間違えれば、綾香や旅人の番になってたのに。
最近運があまり良くないと感じてね。鍋の神のご加護で運勢を変えたかったんだ。だけど気づいたら火がついちゃってたようだ。まあ、一種の修行だと思えば問題ないさ。もう悪い運気は全てこの遊びで使い切ったことを感じるよ。今ここに宣言しよう。本日の鍋遊びはこれにて閉幕。優勝者はこの俺だ。
おー。
遊びも終わり、仕事も一段落ついた。次は休息を取る時間かな。
はい。トーマの言う通り、天領奉行が本当に何か準備をしているのでしたら、一度休息を取りましょう。休んでいる間に、私も少々行いたいことがございます。
じゃあ、各自休んでくれ。何日か後に、木漏れ茶屋に集合して、次の計画を相談しよう。めったにない休暇だ。大事に使うんだぞ。俺もそろそろ支度をして、次の鍋遊びの食材を用意してくるとしよう。
またやる気かよ。
一回だけじゃ物足りないだろじゃあみんな、また。
おう、またな。旅人、しばらく木漏れ茶屋には来なくていいみたいだから、他の場所に行ってみようぜ。
いいお茶だ。いいお茶だ。
新しい投資先でも探そうかしら。モラは大いに越したことないわ。商船の中で完璧な狩人は痕跡を残さないわ。
これからどうしよう。何か計画とかないのか？
旅人さん、パイモンさん、お待ちください。
あれ、綾香？
一つ頼みたいことがあるのですが、ご心配なさらずに。今回の依頼はシャブ業や上里家とは関係ございません。
個人ってことは。
はい、私のお母様に関することでございます。突然で申し訳ないのですが、このことは先日古い蔵の中からお母様が残した手記を見つけました。そこにはお母様が書き留めた様々なさじが記されていたのですが、その中に私の聞いたことのない人名が。
お母さんの友達じゃないか？
はい、両親が亡くなってからすでに何年も経っているとはいえ、関わりがあった人物についてはですので、この名前も聞いたことの手記には相手の名前は椿と書かれていました。
聞いた感じ、女の人の名前だな。
はい。
じゃあオイラた人探しか？
いえ、手記には彼女の住所が記されていましたので、それともともとこのようなことはお兄様と一緒に対応するべきなのですが、今お兄様はとても忙しく。はい、あなたは礼儀。
おお、手土産の用意ならオイラたちも手伝えるぞ。報酬はそうだな。
それは良かったです。もともとこの機会を利用してお二方と一緒に歩きたいと思っていたのです。よろしければ一緒に行動しましょう。
もちろん、いいよ
な。ありがとうございます。では早速出発しましょう。
おお、行こう。
風だ。陣営のごとく。
剣女盤石。
諦めなさい。無駄な努力をやめたら取るに足らないわ。やっ諦めなさい。
剣女盤石。
逃げようなんて思わないでよね。どれに足らないわ。一緒に遊ぼうよ。よっ。
難攻不落。
諦めなさい。ドルに足らないわ。風だ。急が。我が剣よ、影に従え。瞬く間に行くわよ。
難攻不落。
走るより飛ぶ方が早いよ。一緒に遊ぼうよ。ほっ。よいしょ。
岩山八九。
足元に気をつけて。諦めなさい。ここだよ。よいしょ。逃げようなんて思わないでよね。逃がさない。陣営のごとく。
剣女盤石。
無駄な努力をやめたら。いや。 Yahoo!
や、無駄な努力をやめてる？
ここだよ。風だ。健康よ、世の乱れを切りつく。
岩山八九天理チョーク。
ドルに足らないわ。さようなら。
燃料切れだ。